Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigler here, welcome back to our video. So in this one we're going to talk about the 5 first characters you should get at the beginning of your Injustice Mobile journey. Basically, what is going to be the strongest thing for your account while not requiring you to have a huge amount of specific things, like the characters on this list don't require to have another 2 characters to buff them up necessarily. Some of them don't require gears. I mean, most of them don't require gears, and those that require gears are going to be relatively easy to gear up. They don't require pay-to-win artifacts to do the things that I'm gonna basically sell them on this video. So those are going to be the first 5 things you should do your best to get. They're not going to be in any particular order because it's kind of hard to do that, and it's kind of misleading at the same time to do that because this fluctuates depending on what's available in the game. When you see this video, you might have some certain chests in the store that are gonna allow you to have access to some characters, and you might be like, oh, I don't want to open that because I want to get the first character in this list. And it's simply you should get whatever's available at the moment when you start the game. You might see a sale on one of those characters, you might see a challenge up on one of those characters. You should not really restrict yourself in terms of what to get first. So with all that out of the way, let's get this started. I think I made at least 30 videos to an extent that mentioned Kimflan Aquaman in a top 5 thing, but it's just for a good reason. He's a very strong character, and you're gonna get some shards for him in the login rewards, but try not to rely on that. Try to join the league because he is in the league store, and that's gonna speed up the process of getting Kimflan Aquaman a lot more. Influence Aquaman's got something that you're gonna see a little bit more in this list, which is percentage hull damage. Percentage hull damage means that you're gonna do a percent of the target's health, basically, and that doesn't rely on anything, doesn't rely on the attack you have, doesn't rely on if you have gears or not, doesn't rely on if your build is good, it's just you pressing a special, and the enemy's punished in basically based on how much health they have in total. So that is very strong. Now, this is going to also have a pretty good synergy with an artifact called Nora Snow Globe, which is a free artifact you're gonna get if you manage to complete the normal difficulty of On Ice Soul Rates, which basically allows the clones of King that get summoned by that artifact to repeat the percentage hull damage. And at that point, you're gonna have possibly, though when you get to the point where you have North Snow Globe, you're probably gonna have your king stronger than that, but you could in theory have a 3-star Kimflan Aquaman that is level 1 and has no gears equipped, that will do 1.4 billion damage out of a 2 billion health fight. And that is extremely strong, but please join the league and try to get king that way. And also he's gonna have a good synergy with Raven that allows him to do 2 billion damage with the Twin Blade equipped. Though a lot of other characters can do that, but that's another way you can use him. So King is gonna be most definitely a very strong character for you to get. Next up, we're gonna have Deathstroke. Deathstroke is a legendary character, so he's gonna be a little bit harder to get. But he's gonna be pretty damn strong. There are plenty of chests for Deathstroke. Generally speaking, with Deathstroke, I would suggest you wait until there's something maybe on sale to get him from that chest. But he's gonna basically do the same thing that King can do. He's gonna do percentage hull damage on his special too, and with this one you're gonna stay a lot more true to the logic of without gears and at 3 stars, because a lot of the legendary characters that we got in the game are gonna be pretty damn strong, but they need to have a higher star rating. And if you're gonna focus yourself on getting that higher star rating, you're actually gonna do worse for your account than if you spend those resources in getting more of the other characters. Deathstroke does not need gears. I mean, you need to play him decently well so he doesn't die too fast. But in theory, gears play 0 role in the way he deals damage. Star rating plays 0 role in the way he deals damage. The only thing he needs is to do that specialty, to do percentage hull damage, and yet again, as soon as you get yourself a North Snow Globe, you're gonna be able to pair him up with that thing. And you're gonna have a pretty damn good time, the same way as I said with King. So you should definitely try and get Deathstroke if you ever find a chest with him that is on sale. And you might be asking, why would you have 2 things that do the same thing? Because it's useful. As soon as you push a bit in soul rates and see that most of your team do something like 300, 200 mil damage, and then you have King and Deathstroke doing 1.4 billion damage a day, that's gonna be quite a huge boost to your account. Until you build stuff properly, like League of Anarchy and other 2 billion one-shot teams, those percentage health teams are gonna be very reliable for you, and King and Deathstroke are the best at that. So why wouldn't you have two people doing that when it's that useful? Next up, we're gonna have the newest character in the game, actually, at the point of recording this video, Beast Boy. This is gonna be a legendary character, yet again, so might be a little bit harder to get. Try to maybe get the chest on sale, or just open his legendary chest and hope you get him. But he's gonna be extremely strong as soon as you get him. With Beast Boy, it's gonna be a bit trickier than with the other two characters because he might need one gear. The thing is, Beast Boy needs only two stats, generally speaking. If you're using him with the proper artifact, we're gonna get into that later a bit. But he only needs crit chance and crit damage. If you spend a bit of time and spend a bit of credits on the talents, you're gonna be able to max crit chance and crit damage only with one gear and the talents, and not put anything into anything else. But if you don't want to spend some time on the talents, he's gonna need two gears, and you're gonna have to open those gear chests for Beast Boy. But 1 to 2 gears is not too heavy of a requirements. And the thing is, I have done 2 billion damage with a gearless Beast Boy, but that's using other legendary characters and using quite high level artifacts. But the thing is, he's got a lot of potential, and 3 stars Beast Boy is kind of all you need. Another thing that you kind of need with this Beast Boy is the Puppet artifact. I mean, he's going to be pretty strong with other artifacts. The Dark Metal Cards artifact, the Crown artifact, and keep in mind, all those artifacts I'm mentioning are free to play. You're going to get them for free if you complete until a certain point of different soul rates that are gonna come into the game, but the Puppet artifact is gonna be the best artifact for him. So as soon as you acquire the Puppet artifact, that you have maybe one gear on Beast Boy to get that crit chance and crit damage up, you're gonna do tremendous amounts of damage. He's literally the best character in the game currently for league rates and soul rates, so I definitely do recommend you get him as soon as possible. Next up, we're gonna have Raven. Raven is another legendary character that doesn't really require gears. I mean, you need to play her kind of well for her to not require gears. Maybe go for one gear to get some defense in there, some health in there. But the role of Raven is she doesn't do much damage herself, unlike any of the characters on this list. But what her role is she boosts the hell out of other characters. If you have League of Anarchy, you put Raven in there, they're gonna do tons of damage. If you have a Confluent Aquaman and you no longer want to use him for percentage hull damage, you equip a Twin Blade artifact, which is yet again another free artifact that you're eventually gonna get for just playing the game and completing a soul raid, normal difficulty. You're gonna do 2 billion damage. You wanna use your King normally and still use him for percentage hull damage, then you put him in Raven in the team with the Raiden that has the Twin Blade artifact equipped, and you do 2 billion damage. She can boost the hell out of pretty much any character in the game, and the multitude of characters in the game can be boosted by Raven to doing easy 2 billion damage. So definitely Raven is gonna be up there on the top choices of what you should get. I wouldn't recommend you rush getting Raven though, because as I said, she kind of needs to be paired up with something. You need to have something that gets buffed by Raven. Raven alone is not gonna do much, so I wouldn't really advise she's the first choice for you, but she is extremely strong. Now on to the second easiest character to get on this list and second strongest character in the game, Batman the Drowned. You're gonna have a premium chest for Batman the Drowned that costs 250 with an 8% chance to get 160 shards for her, and you're gonna have a challenge to farm some shards from there and to get more gears. And Batman the Drowned is gonna be by far the second strongest character in the game. Used to be the strongest before the addition of Beast Boy, but considering how easy she is to get, you should get her as soon as you see that premium chest that says Batman the Drowned costs 250. Keep in mind, there's two of them. There's one that costs 200, which is a scam, and there's one that costs 250. As soon as you see the 250 chest, you should get her as soon as possible. In terms of artifacts, she might require a God Killer, which is yet again an artifact you get for free, but she can work with Dark Metal cards, she can work with Crown very well. She doesn't need very strong support necessarily. I mean, the best support for her is Robin King, which is another legendary, but I don't have him on my secondary account, for example. I'm still doing well with Batman the Drowned. I have her with Classic Wonder Woman, which you can get fairly easily, Johnson Green Lantern, which is in the League store. She can get boosted to some pretty heavy amounts of damage, and she can deal 2 billion damage relatively fast, so that's gonna be another damage dealer. And out of this list, the only character that you might cycle out when you have a maxed out account, let's say you have everything that can be possibly gotten in the game except for pay to win artifacts. When you're at that point, the only thing that you might cycle out from this is Deathstroke. That's the only thing, though. Even Deathstroke usually goes with Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Freeze uses puppets, and Deathstroke does the percentage all damage at the start. Again, you don't need to worry about that too much yet, most likely. But my point is, everything that I'm saying here, it's budget. It's not necessarily, some of them are easy to get, like Batman John is easy to get, King is easy to get, Raven, Deathstroke, Beast Boy might not be so much, but they work very well with very little investment after you have unlocked them. That's the main point I'm trying to make here. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.